Hi, it's Michelle Medrano. Welcome to another episode of Contemplate This, where we contemplate your spiritual questions. Today I want to talk about heroes, my 3 favorite spiritual heroes. This was a hard one for me to come up with because I certainly have more than 3 heroes. I have a lot of heroes and sheroes in my life because I've been very blessed to study a lot of different people over the years, to work with and be mentored and supported by a whole bunch of heroes. And so I decided for today's episode to focus on heroes from the past, people that I didn't know personally, but as I've looked at them, studied them, felt an intuitive call to them, that they have become heroes in my own consciousness. At least my version of them makes them heroic. And so someday maybe I'll share my heroes who are currently alive and influencing me now. The first one that I'd like to start with is one that is a hero for many people all over our planet, and that would be Jesus. Jesus has been a hero of mine since I was a little child. I first encountered Jesus in a Christian church that I attended. I saw pictures of this guy on a wall, and I will say that I had dreams about someone who looked somewhat similar. The version in my dreams was a bit darker skinned and still had a beard, but I felt this inner realization, this kind of inner connection immediately. And upon asking about this man in my Christian church, was told that it was Jesus, and then of course learned about the Christian version of Jesus, a lot of which I resonated with and some of which didn't ring true to me. And specifically what I feel in my own heart is the truth about Jesus is that he did bring a new covenant of love, and that he was a minister, rabbi, teacher who walked this earth and wanted to help people understand the true, deep, unconditioned love that the creator of this universe has for all of its creations. Not just some, all of its creations. And so that's been the resonating truth for me about Jesus. When I read the Gospels, some of which I think probably represent things Jesus said, and some of which for a lot of reasons, everything from translations to different versions of language and all sorts of things are not true. But what I personally intuit is that Jesus wanted to teach love. He wanted to teach people that God loves us, absolutely loves us. And I resonate with that. And I also resonate with his heroic way of delivering that message. The next one then that I would go to is the founder of Science of Mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes, who I've read a lot of and who we have recordings of and images of and videos of, so I can get his work directly. And I also believe that Ernest Holmes talked a lot about the same kind of thing that Jesus did. Ernest Holmes, I've heard, said at the end of his life that he wished that he would have leaned into the love part more, even though he taught us so much about the law part, love and law. But Ernest Holmes also wanted us to understand and to separate ourselves from superstitious notions about the universe and about God, and to understand that we were embraced fully by this presence that created us all. And then what I love about him is he was an amazing thinker. He was eloquent. He had a great sense of humor. He started a whole movement of people talking and thinking about these ideas, and contributed greatly to the spiritual dialogue from the time he started writing, and probably even before that and until this day. And so many of the ideas that Ernest Holmes talked about and the way he went about developing this teaching feel very heroic to me, and I have great admiration for him. The last one, who I guess technically was around when I was alive, but I'm still alive, by the way, but he was when I was a very small child, and I honestly don't remember consciously ever hearing him speak or teach on television, but our lives intersected from the timeline standpoint, and that would be Martin Luther King Jr., the great Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. I admire his passion and compassion and the way in which he affected huge change and went about to help our world rethink their stand on our African American brothers and sisters from a non-violent perspective, from a place of inviting people to consider ideas that were hard for the culture to consider and to take stands that were hard for people to take. But his heroic steps, his heroic words made a lasting impact. And I think that these three beings have made a huge, huge influence on my life and on the life of the world that I live in, and I'm grateful for them all. I'd love to hear who your heroes are, who are your spiritual heroes. So feel free to make comments and share yours with me. Thanks again for tuning in. See you soon.